Hey, OKB Healthy Pals, Jacqueline here. Welcome to Right Away Q&A Wednesday. It's Wednesday, and that means you get to ask your questions right away in real time, and I will do my best to answer them as they come in. I sometimes can't get to them all, so I'm so sorry, but just ask them as quick as you can. As soon as you get logged on here, just let me know. What do you want to talk about? We have a viewer, and I'm praying I can see your comments because last week I could not see comments, and that really bugged me. So today is Wednesday. It feels like a Monday for us because we were off Monday and Tuesday, which was a wonderful blessing. We had a really wonderful, restful 4-day weekend. The boys did a lot of, what do they do on their restful weekends? The boys do a lot of running. So they registered for a 10K. They did a 10K on Saturday, then they do a 5K on Sunday. And they are really, they're go-getters. They love to run. So we've been encouraging them and just getting them in fun runs. So they like to get the little medals. And I encourage your families to do it. It's a fun family thing to do together. And also great for the kids. It's great motivation to get them running, some fun activity, and also they can earn a little medal. And sometimes the t-shirts are worth keeping. Sometimes the t-shirts are not worth keeping because they're just garbage. It's like polyester. And they get fun tags, your little tags, your whatever you call them, the running numbers. So they have a fun time. I think they got placed first, second, and third in their age category for the 10K run, which it was Jonas, Joel, Jax. That's usually how they finish. So it was pretty exciting. So as soon as I see some questions come through, we'll start answering them. There was a few from, I didn't bring my computer, so I can't look and see what people posted last time, but I know there was one on hemorrhoids. We can talk a little bit on hemorrhoids. Cindy, hi Cindy from Bartlesville, Oklahoma. Bartlesville, Oklahoma. Nice. I don't think I've ever been there. So great. Good news. I'm getting comments. So thank you, Cindy. Oh, she's double checked that so I can actually answer your questions today. Last week it was so bizarre. I could not see anybody's comments. I couldn't see anybody logging in. It was terrible. Good morning from New Haven, Indiana. We have Risa. Welcome and good morning. So this is where you guys ask me questions. If you have a question, about health or anything really, I'm happy to talk and chat. I'm just ranting right now about our weekend. It was restful and nice, and it was chilly. It's warmer today, and today feels like a Monday because we're just trying to do all the things. It's a good Monday. I feel motivated. I've got some great news. I made a new cough syrup elixir, so that's going to be out today. Look for that on the store. It's an extreme cough elixir that's helpful with lots and lots of herbs. I want to say there's 7 different herbs infused in this cough elixir. And will definitely help you. Okay, we got our first question. This is from Patty, and she says, good morning. Is there anything for Lyme disease? I'm assuming that meant Lyme disease with the L. Just making a joke. There's a few things you can do is really go over your diet. Make sure you're not eating any of the 5 food allergens. What are the 5 food allergens? Good morning, Brittany. We have Brittany here. She's one of our subscribers. Good morning. Glad you're here. Hi, Norma. I'll get to your question next, Norma, but right now we're talking about Patty. So yes, for Lyme's disease, you really got to watch the 5 food allergens. What are the things that can trigger your body's responses? And health responses. That can be hybridized wheat, which Norma asked a great question about hybridized wheat, which is been modified. The change of the structure has been changed. The molecular structure has been changed. You can look up Norman Berlag. He won a Nobel Peace Prize award, for his scientific work, but he changed the molecular structure of the wheat, not like God had made it. It's different now. And so because of that, about 99% of the modern wheat you see, if it's not ancient grained, has been altered, and it's not the way God made it. So there's some really great books on wheat. I'm going to do a little 2-in-1 question answer here. It's called Wheat Belly by William Davis, Dr. William Davis. So check that out. He's got a lot of great studies and a lot of great history. If you're not a reader, then go on YouTube, and he's got some great short videos that kind of explain what happened to the wheat. The amylopectin A, the amylopectin C, B, the amylopectin C. And so what happened is that structure is different. So it makes our blood sugar go up really fast. And it's basically unrecognizable to the body, but it causes a lot of histamine response, a lot of allergic reactions. So one thing if you have Lyme's disease is to make sure you are not eating any hybridized wheat. I would take out all refined carbohydrate altogether just to give your body a great reset. Also watch your refined sugar. Watch your peanuts. Peanuts have a lot of mold. So you could do almond butter instead, or cashew butter, or hazelnut butter. There's so many different butters now. There's got to be somewhere, some place in the whole world where someone is harvesting their own peanuts and they're mold free. There's got to be a place. And that's probably when I would have peanuts. Sometimes I'll have peanut butter, but sometimes it gives me rashes. So I know, it's mold. So almond butter is a great replacement, or another different nut butter. Then you have, your dairy. Your dairy can cause inflammation for some people. Someone asked earlier, they asked me what I thought about raw dairy, and I think it's great. I think it's fine. I think that's how God made it to be, in the raw state. And so if you're going to have dairy, make sure it's raw. Make sure it's organic. Make sure it's grass-fed. Make sure it's healthy. Make sure you know where the milk is coming from. We know a couple of wonderful people who have their own dairy cows, and they do well on it. Their families do well on it. They sell it to their neighborhood, and it goes really well for them. So, it just depends on your body, what your body likes, what your body agrees with, what it doesn't agree with. Make sure to kind of watch that. Some of the symptoms of a dairy allergy can be rashes. It can be chronic congestion, especially chronic ear infections, chronic nasal drainage, constant, respiratory issues. So watch the dairy, and also take out all the allergens when you have serious diseases like Lyme disease, just so you can kind of give your body a fresh start. There's also oats, which can cause inflammation because of the lectins in them. It's hard to get the lectins out of the oats, but some people can handle them. Some people can't. If you're going to do oats, make sure they're glyphosate free, glyphosate free. I say that word so many different ways, but make sure that it doesn't have that toxic pesticide chemical residue on it. So that can really cause some horrible problems in the body. And you need to watch what you're eating. So that's the biggest thing. Make sure you do the basics, drinking your water, swapping coffee for herbal teas that don't have caffeine. Little things like this can make a huge difference in your health as you're trying to heal. There's a book called Healing Lyme by Dr. Harold Bruner. And you can find that book on our website if you can't find it. It's at okbehealthy.com. But Healing Lyme Disease, and it's got a lot of wonderful insight to healing, helping the body heal that disease. Of course, I don't do the healing. You don't do the healing. The body does, with God's great inbuilt ability that he's given our bodies to do that. He designed them to do that. It's like this superhero within, that we all have. We have this superhero within us when we give it the right conditions, right? It's like Superman. If you brought him kryptonite, he wouldn't be able to work right. So we want to make sure we keep the kryptonite away from Superman. We want to make sure, you keep the garbage out of the body so your body is working at optimal superhero mode. You can tell I have boys. Okay, so those are some things you can do. Also, cold water plunging has been shown to be very helpful for those who are suffering with Lyme. So I would get into the habit of cold plunging, or after a hot shower, doing a cold shower, ending with cold. But there's something about the cold plunging that really helps stimulate new white blood cells in the bone marrow, and that's stimulated when you do cold plunging. So get in there. It's the best thing you can do for your immune system. Even anyone can do it. It's great for helping you age gracefully. There's no such thing as anti-aging, guys. I don't know why people say anti-aging. That's just a weird marketing thing. There's no such thing as anti-aging. We're going to age, but you can age gracefully. There's definitely such thing as aging gracefully. So those are some little tips to help you with Lyme disease, and some places you can go and you can check for the Lyme. Now, Norma, you're asking hybridized. I talked a little bit about the hybridized wheat. I need to slow down. Breathe. It's okay, Jacqueline. Take your time. I'll go slower. But there's just so much to say. Okay. Now, ancient grain is something you can look into using, what is an ancient grain? That is one that the molecular structure has not been modified. So you can look into spelt flour, kamut flour, there's Einkorn flour, and you can also make sourdough bread. And when you do the sourdough culture, it helps to break down the gluten structure, because even if it's ancient grain, some people might have a serious allergy to all wheat because of the hybridized wheat ruining it. So the body's just kind of like helicopter parent. It's like over obsessed and does not want any wheat in the body. So you might have to be gentle with eating the ancient grains or the sourdoughs, and only eat them every now and then, and occasionally, maybe like once a week. I can have sourdough about once a week. I can't have it every day. If I have it every day, I get bloating, I get itchy, I get rashes. So I know I can tolerate just a little at a time. So, and then those books that I had told you about are some great places to start. Oh, Brittany said, what type of cat food do you use? How do you worm the cats? Well, our cats are just inside, and I'm going to tell you something. We don't take them to the vet. They have not been to the vet since they were kittens, and they are now 9 years old. I believe going on 8 or 9 years old. And they're the healthiest cats. I joke that these cats are never going to die. They're going to be like the world's oldest cats, living forever. It depends. Sometimes we actually give them tuna. We give them like natural foods. I'll have to ask Joel because he makes their food mostly, but I know he gives them tuna sometimes and some fish. We give them fish sometimes. I don't know because I don't feed my cats. My older son does, so I need to find out what cat food they're getting, and I will definitely let you know. I'll get back to you on the type of cat food that they use. I know it's a natural one, but yeah, as far as worming cats, we don't worry about it. They're inside only, though. You can use diatomaceous earth as a natural dewormer. That's what I use on my outdoor animals, like our chickens and our dogs that are outside all the time, our dogs that are with the chickens, because we have Great Pyrenees that help keep the bobcats out of our coop. Yeah, we have bobcats, and it was horrible the first few months when I was getting used to chickens and the outdoor life, because we'd come out to the coop and there'd be like beheaded ducks because the bobcat would like stick his arm through the fence and pull the duck and just pull his head off. It was horrible. It was horrible because there'd be blood everywhere. I'd be crying because I had named my ducks. So don't name your animals, your outdoor animals. It's just part of life. No, but we got Great Pyrenees, so they kind of take care of that now. But we definitely put the diatomaceous earth in their food. I put coconut oil in their food as well for the dogs outside. And I'll have to ask Jonas. He makes their own dog food sometimes. And then sometimes we give them dog food, but I'll have to get back to you on that, Brittany. Not quite sure what the brand name is. Good morning. I know I asked before, but how can help for R? I don't know what R is. If you could let me know, Connie, what R is, that would be helpful. There could be a lot of R things. Okay, Tara says, I have found mold in our cellar, old farmhouse, stone foundation. Laundry is done down there. Yes, I'm in a mold Facebook group. I feel paralyzed to clean it. It's disturbing. Spreading mycotoxins, worried about our clothing, everything down there. Is it all contaminated? How much of a health risk? Well, I would definitely have someone come who specializes in cleaning the mold, and ask them and talk to them about natural ways to clean. Even suggest if they could use, white vinegar and baking soda. You could talk to them about that. Some of them are very open-minded and happy to help, or kind of meet you halfway. So definitely look into that. There's a company called Micro Ingredients online, and they have all kinds of natural mold helping cleaners, mold petri dishes, where not that you're buying the mold, but that you have these petri dishes that you can open up in your home, and you can test for mold, what kind of mold it is. But yes, you definitely are definitely at a health risk. Any mold is not good. You don't want any mold in the home, especially where you are spending a lot of your time washing your clothes. And so it's definitely important. I would highly suggest having someone come. If you don't want to clean it yourself, have someone come that wear all the things. They get all the things. They seal up the top floor from the bottom floor while they clean. Open windows, get sunshine down there if you can. Sometimes cellars don't have windows, sometimes they do, and get fresh air. And then definitely check out the Micro Ingredients online. I believe it's called Micro Balance Ingredients. Perhaps I'm wrong. It could be Micro Balance Ingredients or Micro Ingredients, but just look at mold and micro ingredients, and something should pop up to help you. But they have lots of natural cleaning things, which I have found helpful. I used their petri dishes once when I was just trying to find out. We just moved into our home, just trying to find out what mold we're experiencing. And guess what? We're going to have mold. There's no such thing as a environment-free, perfect air, not till we get to heaven. I can't wait to breathe that air. I think the best air I've ever breathed was in Alaska, though. If you ever have a chance to go to Alaska, we lived there for 3 years. It was amazing. We would live there if we could. But the air quality is just phenomenal, especially when you're out there in the wilderness where there is no one except the last frontier. You know, it is beautiful, and a great place to breathe. But try to get as much fresh air as possible, get air purifiers down there. And those are some little things that I would do. But you need to find out what you're dealing with exactly. Good morning, Denise. Welcome. Hi, Brittany. What do you recommend for postpartum? Like after having a baby, right? That's what that means, guys. So I would definitely recommend balancing your hormones, and that's important because after you have a baby, your hormones are everywhere. And I don't recommend any kind of detoxing because if you're nursing, it's important that you focus on baby and you focus on your breast milk and you focus on just giving the baby everything the baby needs. But you can use wild yam cream. It's perfectly safe while you're pregnant, and it helps balance your hormones. And you apply it twice a day. I actually have some here behind me from last week. You wouldn't need anything fancy. You could just do the basic, which is chasteberry and wild yam. And we infuse this in oil, an olive oil, and you apply it twice a day. 3 weeks on, 1 week off. 1 week off would be your period week. Now, if you're nursing, you won't have a period. So you can take a week off when you feel, but it needs to be 3 weeks consecutive application, 1 week off. This balances your hormones. It balances your progesterone. It balances your estrogen, and it balances it as your body needs and regulates. So, you know, it's not like a HRT, which HRT will make your body lazy. Some HRTs are synthetic. This is actually just the body's natural composition using wild yam, as a hormone to help you balance and to regulate your own hormones the way they're supposed to do, because you don't have to be on this forever. Sometimes people can be on it about a year, and then they can get off and they find that their hormones are working just right if they're doing all the other things, right? Eating well, taking care of themselves. So make sure you're drinking plenty of water. You know, sometimes postpartum can cause a lot of depression. And so especially for a nursing mother, you need to be drinking a lot of water. You need it for your brain health, but you also need it to produce breast milk. And so it's important to stay hydrated. It's important to balance your hormones. It's important to eat well. And remember, you're battling a whole bunch of different things when you have a new baby. You're battling not being able to sleep regularly, right? So make sure you get naps in with the baby when you can. It's easy when it's your first baby. It's not so easy when it's your second baby or third baby and you have like 3 toddlers. In my case, I had one of mine, and I had twins that were toddlers, and then I had Jackson. My husband was deployed, so I really only slept when they could sleep. And I remember sometimes just making like a little, what do you call that? Like a little shelter out of the baby gates, and we'd all be in the center, and I'd sleep in the middle, and they'd just be playing on top of me. I'd be nursing one baby in the middle, and they'd all be playing, but I just knew we were all safe in that little crate, and I could just sleep because my twin toddlers were like 3, and they were just everywhere. And my husband was deployed. This was in Alaska. So I would just bring in some snacks, bring in their waters, and then I would just pass out with the baby. But good times. So those are some little things you can do to help, but I think it's really important to balance your hormones, as well. Now, if you have any questions as I'm talking about any of these things, feel free to write. I haven't, I have to scroll up to see your current, comments. So, bear with me on the little bit of a delay, but I will do my best to get there. So Brittany said her cats don't go outside. Yeah, mine don't either. They're inside. And that was not done on purpose, actually. It was because we had a bobcat, and we have something called bobcat fever in Oklahoma, where if a tick bites a bobcat, falls off the bobcat, and then bites a domestic cat, it'll kill the cat if you don't catch it quick. Basically attacks all their internal organs. It's a nasty disease, a nasty virus. And so what happened is when our kittens were little, the mama didn't come back. And then I did find her, and I found her, and I tried to bring her to her kittens, but she would not come near her kittens. And I thought, something is seriously wrong. She's sick. So we took her to the vet, and yes, she had bobcat fever. So she passed away. And so then I brought all the kittens in. was a big thing because my husband was deployed and I thought I can't let anything else die while he's gone. These kids are just already on edge. And so their favorite house outdoor cat died. And I thought, okay, we're bringing them all in. So yes, I have 6 cats inside. They don't go outside. And so we don't have to worm them, but we do. We are just mindful. We initially did when they were kittens. So they had all the initial stuff when they were babies and they're kittens. So I do recommend just kind of going and getting them a clear checkup in the beginning. I don't really recommend all the vaccinations and things, but sometimes you can't get out of it. They make you do it. You could put a little charcoal in their water if you ever find that they're getting sick or reacting to any kind of vaccine. Okay, Brittany says, we have chickens and I found a good wormer for them. We do powder, oregano oil, cayenne, and garlic. Nice. That's good. You just pour it in, sprinkle it in their food. Those are some great herbs. And you know what? If it does it for animals, it's going to do it for us. So make sure you guys are constantly deworming yourself and eating lots of wonderful, rich herbs. Diana was asking micro. I think it's Micro Balance for the mold place. I'll have to comment after. If anyone wants to look it up and then let us know, that'd be great. But I don't have my computer to look it up for you. But I think the mold company is called Micro Ingredients or Micro Balance. I'm sorry, but one of the two. Okay. Okay, this is from Wendy. How would you treat hemorrhoids? There's the few things you want to do is go over your diet. Make sure you're eating lots of fiber. Make sure you take out all refined carbohydrate. Don't eat any of it. Don't even eat rice. Don't eat anything that can make you bloated or constipate you. Stay away from it. If you don't have diabetes, I'd recommend eating lots of yummy dried fruits like prunes and mangoes and pineapple and apricot and plums and, just get a big bag of variety of dried fruit. I joke with the boys. I'm like, we should just make our own constipation relief dried fruit bag because I'm telling you, eating this dried fruit will just clean you out. Also making a yummy smoothie with lots of dark leafy greens, lots of water. You could try coconut water in your smoothie, or you can try drinking coconut water. It doesn't replace water though. Remember, nothing replaces the body's need for water except for water. So make sure you're only drinking water. But that's the best thing is to avoid it. Also, try to avoid straining and making it worse. Use a squatty potty if you need, or put something underneath your knees when you're using the bathroom to elevate the knees upward. When I went to China, they had no toilets. You actually have a hole in the ground and you have to squat. And I'm telling you, the first few days I thought, what is wrong with my thighs? My quads are killing me. And I realized, it's all the squatting I have to do when I have to go to the bathroom, because you have to squat to get down all the way down the hall. And I'm really tall, so that's a really long way down. So the shorter you are, the easier. But not necessarily for your body, right? Because you still have to squat. But squatting is important. So even squat as an exercise, squatting is key and helpful. There's a great essential oil we sell. It's called Hemorrhoid Peace Please, and it's hemorrhoid relief. And it's made with some wonderful essential oils to help relieve hemorrhoids. And it does. I'm telling you, it works great. I also like to use it for age spots, because the essential oils in it are amazing for age spots as well. So you kind of get 2 in 1. And we get this from Australia. So it's a very nice blend of essential oils to help with hemorrhoid relief. You can also make your own suppositories, 50% coconut oil, 50% castor oil, and you melt it gently, not super hot. And then you pour them into some gloves, some rubber gloves. And then what you do is you tie them off with a piece of floss at the fingertips, across like that. If this was the glove, you'd pour them in each one. Have someone help you tie it off with floss, and then put it in the freezer. Make sure it's really tied tight so it doesn't leak. Put it in the freezer, and you might have to freeze a few days. Also, you can try aloe, pieces of aloe. This is the only case you don't want the peel on the aloe. So you cut all the green off the aloe and you freeze little tiny pieces, and you can insert frozen pieces of aloe as a suppository at night to help you. Make sure you're wearing a pad to help any kind of leaking from the suppositories or the homemade suppositories. Okay. As you're doing that, those are some things that are very, very helpful to help relieve inflammation. Also consider taking curcumin, turmeric, cayenne pepper. So Okay. Diana says, can you send me the link later to buy the hormone cream, please? Thank you. Yes, I'll attach the link after we're done. I'll also show you guys the link to the micro balance ingredients and I could be totally slaughtering the name. It could be something different. I'm so sorry. I'm drawing a complete blank. I see the logo in my mind. So yes, I will drop the link here. After I'm done, I'll put the link to our wild yam cream. Or if any of my viewers know where the link is and want to send that to her, you're welcome to do that as well. But either way, we'll get that to you. Tracy says, which wild yam cream do you recommend? I don't know which to trust anymore. Well, I recommend mine. Because I know how we make it and I know what we make it with. And so that's basically the only one I recommend. I know that's partial. I'm being, what do you call that? But no, the reason why I make it is because I like it the best. So I recommend mine. But you will have to, depending on where you live, make sure you read the ingredients. So you might live near you might be in a different country or a local area where there's some sweet lady who's making it on her own. Ask her for the ingredient list, a complete ingredient list, and then do your research. Look up each ingredient and then go from there. Make sure if it's something you can't pronounce or if it's a very nasty preservative, you need to stay away. There's no reason you should be using a wild yam cream to help you balance your hormones when then you're putting a preservative in your skin that is causing hormonal imbalances or is a carcinogenic, okay? Carcinogenic is something that causes cancer over long periods of time. So be very mindful. You don't want to be, counteracting what you're trying to do. Tabitha says cats carry a lot of parasites. They do. Humans carry a lot of parasites too. So meat carries a lot of parasites. The air actually has a lot of parasites. We're actually surrounded by a lot of parasites. So it's important that we're keeping our hydrochloric acid very strong. It's important that we are mindful of that. Oh yeah, there we go. So microbalance health products. There we go. Thank you, Katrina. Katrina posted the link for me on the mold. Okay. Speaking of water, what is the best filtration system? You can look into something called Berkey. I have a Berkey water filter, or it might now be called Berkefeld because I know they're under a lawsuit of some kind, not because they're doing anything wrong, but because they want to be labeled as something that they're not, which you can read all about it, but I'm not going to spend time talking about that stuff. Basically, when you do something really good for a very long time, odds are somebody's going to come after you. And it's always the devil, right? It's always the devil in disguise as something else. It's never the other people, or it's always the devil just trying to make a issue out of things. But there's one called Berkefeld, and you can get that, and it's a stainless steel water filter you put by your sink, and you can fill it with water to help from the tap to filter. Also, you can just look into getting a nice filter for your home. So we have a nice filter on the home now. It has fluoride filters. It has charcoal filters. And so we have it for the whole house. We have it for the showers. We have it for everything you can imagine. Animal water, anything we use. We're on well water though too. So Pillar says, this may sound silly, but I've noticed when I drink alkaline water, I don't have the urgency to void immediately after like I do with regular water. Is there a reason for this? Maybe our kidneys process the alkaline water differently. Well, I don't know. That's interesting. But your body, definitely listen to your body. Alkaline water things, I've had some before. It's delicious. They're expensive. But I haven't really looked too much into it. Jean says, I have what I think might be a bone spur on the ball of my foot. I've used castor oil for 3 weeks, but no sign of improvement. Do you have any other suggestion, please? Well, it takes time. The bone spur didn't just come. It's been slowly developing. And so you have to be consistent with the castor oil. So think castor oil consistency. You have to use it every day. You might want to try to do it 24 hours a day because it's not going to hurt you to have a little pad of castor oil underneath that pad of the foot. So keep going at it. Don't stop. I would also suggest hydrotherapy, where you put the foot in hot water for 3 minutes and then cold water for 30 seconds for a cycle of 3. It's called hydrotherapy. We used to have a lot of hydrotherapy sanitariums or places where people would come and the nurses would specialize in practicing this hydrotherapy practice where it's just using water to help heal and treat a lot of people. But that's actually been kind of pushed to the side because it works. and, things at work, then, if everyone's healed, then people aren't sick, and then you don't need a doctor, and then you don't need medications, and, So, basically you do the hydrotherapy. Now you can't do hydrotherapy if you have neuropathy. So if you have any issues of the feet where you can't feel the feet or feel any parts of the body, you can't do hydrotherapy on that until you have gotten the circulation going again and you start to feel again. So it's just not forever, just not now. All right. So I would suggest, if you don't have neuropathy, or you can still feel your feet, to be doing hydrotherapy every day. And the body has memory, so do it every day, and it helps heal every day. And then I would do the castor oil on after it. Because hydrotherapy paired with a compress or a poultice is golden ticket. It's very helpful for healing. So that's what I would recommend for anything like that. Nonstop with that. Nonstop with your castor oil. Let's see. Luis says, or Lois, what can you do with kidney stones? My friend says she has problems about every 2 months, and I know she drinks cold water all the time, but anyway, advice, thank you. Well, there's quite a few herbs that you can look into using. I know juniper berries are helpful for kidney stones. And there's a protocol to that. You eat 1 juniper berry day 1, day 2 you eat day 2, and you work your way to day 15. At day 15, then you go down. So then you eat 14, and then 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And you work your way up. So that's an option. There's also, we've made a kidney care tea, and this is the bomb kidney care tea. We put so many herbs in this. I think it has like 7 or 8 herbs. Some really wonderful herbs, that are kind of difficult for people to find or very expensive for people to buy, like all the herbs and put together. I also try to avoid where I'm like telling people, oh yeah, take these 10 to 15 supplements. That's crazy. So actually we're putting it into a tincture. So it's just easy. It's 1 dose deliverable. And then we made a kidney care tea, and that's new. I believe that's posted on the website already. So you can find the kidney care tea. Depending on the urgency, you can take kidney care tea more than a few cups a day, but you can look into that on our website. Make sure she has a very alkaline diet. Talk to her about alkalinity. Teach her about what an alkaline diet is. Make sure she's not eating too many acidic foods. Also, is she taking calcium that is fortified? Straight calcium can cause stones in the body. It actually can cause organs and arteries to harden. So also make sure you're always taking a MK7 form of K2. So it helps to deliver the calcium where it needs to go from that D3. So if you're taking a D3, that's wonderful. If you're taking a K2, that's great, but make sure it's a D3 with MK7 to help deliver that calcium where it needs to go. And that is away from the arteries, away from the organs, but to the bone and places where it needs to be. Okay. So those are some little things you can do, and you can help her. Okay. Thank you for all. Katrina's on here helping us with links. So that's wonderful. Okay. We have Clara from Utah. Hello. Sherry says, what can help with bags under eyes? Well, bags under the eyes can be a few things. Sleep. Are you sleeping well? If you're not sleeping well, aim to get more sleep. It's ideal that you get between 7 and 8 hours of sleep every night. Ideally 8, right? 8 hours to sleep, 8 hours to play, 8 hours to work, but you definitely want to get about 8 hours of sleep every night. So make yourself sleep. Our book club this month in our subscriber page is actually Why We Sleep by Matthew Walker. So it's been a really eye-opening book for all my subscribers watching now. I'm sure you know, Sherry is one of our subscribers as well. We're talking about sleep. So you know all about it, Sherry. So sleeping is important. So make sure you're getting your sleep. Make sure your inflammation is down. Make sure you are getting plenty of alkaline foods. If you need to take some turmeric or curcumin to help with inflammation, there's also wonderful herbs like ginger and garlic that are helpful. And be aware, are you getting good quality air while you're sleeping? Do you have mold in the room? How about parasites? Have you ever done a parasite cleanse? So these are some things to look out for, and definitely make sure your salt is going where it needs to go. So make sure you are, sometimes people have a lot of water retention because they don't have the salt going into the cell completely. So make sure you are drinking plenty of water, but also eating that mineral salt before every glass of water to help direct the water where it needs to go. I've seen older women in older books I've read, they use silver spoons. You have to get a real silver spoon. You can find these in antique stores unless your great grandma or grandma or someone has some silver spoons. But silver spoons, keeping them in the fridge and then putting them on the eyes and holding them, kind of like a hydrotherapy, where you hold them on for about a minute or as long as you can stand it, and you take it off till they get warm again, and then you put it back on. So doing somewhat of a hydrotherapy on the eyes. I thought that was really cool when I read about that. Ice bath on the face. You can definitely do that. It's basically a hydrotherapy where you do hot water and cold ice, cold water. Obviously, you can't be burning hot water, and you can't do it for 3 minutes, right? That's a long time. So just put your face in hot water for as long as you can hold it there. Maybe all you can do is 5 seconds. Great. 5 seconds in the hot, and then 5 seconds in the ice cold. Breathe. Do it again. And you do that for cycle 3. That helps with inflammation of the face. Rebounding helps the lymphatic system. So it could be just your lymphatic system a little clogged up. It needs some help. And definitely watch the foods you're eating. Make sure you're eating a very alkaline, healthy diet of what you eat. Make sure you go through what you're eating and make sure it's healthy. Avoid caffeine. Make sure you're drinking plenty of, if you want to, herbal teas without caffeine are very helpful. There's a lot of them that are great for anti-inflammation. So for kicking in that response of helping the body with that puffy face and the feel. So that's really good for anybody who has a puffy face, though, using that hydrotherapy for the face. Clara says, my daughter wants to know what is a good herb for heart. Yeah, there's so many wonderful herbs for the heart, actually. One of my favorite is hawthorn berry, and it grows wild all over Europe. So if you live in Europe, you better take advantage of taking those hawthorn berries off the tree. I'm telling you, there's so many just rotting on the trees, people just walking by them. They had no idea what these beautiful life-saving berries are. It's hawthorn berry. Now, this was a couple months ago, so I'm sure they're probably dormant now. I know a good time to get them is early fall, probably September. But you'll have to look in your region for hawthorn berries and collect them and freeze them or dry them and use them. But hawthorn berry, one of my favorites. You can drink a hawthorn berry tea. You can take a hawthorn berry supplement. You can take hawthorn berry tincture, which we have all that on the website as well. Hawthorn berry powder. And so there's many different ways you can get your hawthorn berry in. But if you're going to start swapping your caffeine, which I recommend everyone do, I would definitely look into becoming an avid collector of fine herbal teas and having a beautiful herbal tea pantry where you can just take out a herbal tea that helps you with whatever may be going on inside, whether it's stress, whether it's anxiety, whether it's inflammation or heart health or kidneys, whatever it is, there's an herb for it. Isn't God good? So you can have a beautiful pantry full of these beautiful herbs to help you that replace caffeine. So that's one of my favorites. Cayenne pepper is another favorite, and she could take cayenne pepper every day. She could take a little cayenne pepper before she has her tea in the morning, because cayenne paired with an herb, superpower. It's superpower activated, and it really definitely helps deliver that herb's potency even better. So that's another great one for the heart. Ginger, garlic, these are great things for the heart. But if I was going to say one, I would look into hibiscus and hawthorn, or hawthorn and ginger. Those are some yummy warming teas that are delicious for you. Okay, Tracy says, my mom is recovering from Giardia. Ooh, yes, parasite infection. Yep, that's a real thing. Infection is gone, but her stomach intestinal tract isn't back to normal. I'm assuming they probably gave her antibiotics. That's usually what they do. She's 75. What should she do? So I would assume, and correct me if I'm wrong, if she did take the antibiotics, that's obviously why she's dealing with stomach intestinal tract issues, because antibiotics are against life, so they kill all life form, even our good microbiome. And so that's just the gamble people take. So definitely want to reintroduce all that good gut microbiome. And you want to look for a probiotic that has an acid resistance capsule, so that it's not getting digested in your stomach acid, because otherwise it's just a waste of your money. And if you can't do that or you're not sure, then make sure you're always taking your probiotic 45 minutes before breakfast. You can even take it in a powder form if you want to deliver it quicker to the gut, because the idea is you get it to the gut. You don't want it to digest in your hydrochloric acid. And so that's the biggest thing. Make sure she's staying hydrated. You can eat cultured foods. So what are some great cultured foods? There's kimchi, there's sauerkraut, there's kombucha. I personally don't drink kombucha. It kind of bothers me. If you're going to drink kombucha, maybe sip it, maybe have 2 ounces a day or 4 ounces, but nothing more than that. Be mindful because it has yeast, it has, sugar. Some of it's fed sugar, and I know that eats it, but you're still dealing only with small parts of alcohol. For me, kombucha gives me urinary tract infections and also headaches. So it's not for me. It's not for everyone, but maybe it is for you. You can look into kefir. There's lots of beautiful goat kefir, things like that, but you would want to eat that. Sauerkraut, I said sauerkraut, and you can make your own sauerkraut at home. Super easy. So those are some things I would look into having her do, and making sure she's getting on a probiotic 45 minutes before she eats, and then reestablishing that gut health, avoiding the foods that cause problems to the gut, and medications and medicine in general, drugs. And then there's gut repair powder she can drink to help repair the gut lining. It's made with myrrh, golden seal, and slippery elm. There's also just slippery elm. She could take slippery elm. There's also aloe water. So there's some little things that you can do. Obviously, you don't want to bombard her. So just start with something small and work your way from there. Diana says, I have Meniere's disease and get dizzy bouts for 4 to 6 hours. I'm debilitated state like a zombie in bed until the dizziness stops. Any help, please, on that? Oh, I'm so sorry. I don't know what that disease is. So I'll have to, if you can give me some more symptoms, that's helpful. I'm really good at symptoms, guys. I don't really have all the diagnoses memorized. There's actually so many. It's quite overwhelming. I think there's new ones, many new ones given out every day, and new medications to go with them every day. So I need more information, but I do know, anytime the body is, under attack like that, you want to get your inflammation down. So look into your diet. What are you eating? If you're drinking caffeine, stop. If you're eating refined sugar, stop. If you're eating peanuts, stop because they have a lot of mold. If you're eating oats, stop because it has a lot of inflammation. If you're eating cheese that's not organic or raw, you may want to stop. These are things you want to really just stop altogether. Look over any medication that you're taking, because sometimes it's not the actual disease they've given you. And I say they give it to you. It's like this gift. They say, oh, here you go. And really it's like, yay, we have their money in our pockets the rest of our life because we've given them this diagnosis. But it's not who you are, right? It's not something you want. And so I would reject the diagnosis. Anytime anybody's ever told me I have something, or it's possibly going to be this, or you better be careful, I just reject that. No, thank you. But for dizziness, make sure you're staying hydrated. Make sure you're eating enough of your mineral salt. And this is every day. It's not just when it happens. You have to do it every day. Be mindful of your water intake every day. Be mindful of your mineral intake every day. Be mindful of the minerals and the fruits and vegetables that you're eating every day. It's an everyday thing. That way, when your symptoms will be less and less every day. It'll be easier every day because you start to do these natural lifestyle changes, healthy habits daily. So that's a little bit on that. You could try cayenne pepper to help move the blood, especially when you feel dizzy. But I would say start very small and see how that works for you. You don't want to become nauseous on top of everything you're having to deal with. Check for mold in your house. Do you have amalgam fillings in your mouth? Do you have mercury fillings in your mouth? Do you have implants? Do you have breast implants? You got to go through everything and pray. God will give you answers when you ask him. He will show you and it'll be right there. Sometimes the answers he gives me, I'm like, it's right in front of my face. Why didn't I see this? What in the world? And it's like, wow, thank you, Father. You know, he's always wanting to talk to us, but we have to be the ones that say, okay, come in. You know what I mean? Like, yes, I have questions. I'd like answers from you, Father. Okay, Dorothy says, hi, you're very informative. Well, I like to read a lot and I like to answer questions. And when I don't know the answers, I like to go find out either from peers or people who've been doing this longer than me, or a book or the Bible. She says, how do you start a parasite cleanse? So we're actually working on a parasite cleanse kit. I've got that going. I'm still in the process of getting all the instructions edited and correct. But for right now, we have parasite cleanse tinctures and we have binders. And basically it works like this. You take a parasite tincture, which is either wormwood, clove, a black walnut, and oregano, which we put all of them together, and you take binders every day. You can do that for a month straight, which I like to do a month solid, and do it. Sometimes I take it every day when I'm home and I'm more around my animals. My son, who does the kitty litter box, I have him do it every day because he's constantly in the kitty litter box cleaning the cat room and all this stuff. So what I do is you take a binder. You take a binder 1 hour before you're going to take your parasite cleanse. A binder acts as a binder, like a sponge, and it absorbs all the toxins and the die-off from a parasite. A parasite likes to hang out with bad company. The best way to describe it is like the Charlie Brown cartoon, and you have Pigpen, and he always has this blanket, and then he has all the filth around him. It's kind of like a parasite. A parasite likes to have the filth around him. It collects there. It feels comfortable there, right? You hang out with what you're comfortable with, right? The countenance of a parasite isn't good counsel. It's toxic sludge, it's waste, it's heavy metals, it's chemicals, it's all the things that we've been exposed to through the environment, which we have tens of thousands of chemicals that we are exposed to at any given time. So our liver is constantly working, but we sometimes have these free radicals in the body, which the parasites love to hang out in. And so when you kill the parasite, you have then all this die-off. You have it let go of these toxins, and these toxins actually have to be kind of swept up and collected and helped to be brought out of the body. Sometimes people will do a parasite cleanse without a binder. It's okay if you're eating really well and you have an extremely clean diet, but I really suggest using a binder 1 hour before, to just help you not experience maybe all those headaches or those rashes, or to make your detox not so miserable. So binder 1 hour before. You cannot take a binder with medication, okay? Because it has charcoal in it. It has bentonite clay. No, ours has charcoal, psyllium husk, and slippery elm to help you stay regular and to help you keep your fiber up, and to help you, the charcoal's a binder to help get all the stuff out. Slippery elm is to help with your bowel movements. It's important that you're going to the bathroom every day, twice a day ideally. If you're not going to the bathroom on a parasite cleanse, highly suggest doing an enema every day. Dandelion root enemas, there's a green coffee enemas, but I prefer no coffee. I prefer dandelion. You can even do charcoal enemas. You can do just water enemas. You can do lemon water enemas. So there's lots of different enemas you can do that help you stay regular and to clean the colon, because as these parasites die, as the heavy metals are coming out, you want to make sure the colon is staying. You open up all your elimination, the pores of elimination, the places of elimination. You want to have those always open. So that might be it's your lymphatic system, it's your sweat glands. So this is a whole class in itself, but there's a lot to it. But the basic is you take the binder, an hour later you take the parasite cleanse, and you do this for twice a day for 1 month. If it's too much, you can go 2 days on, 2 days off. If it's even too much, I tell people go 2 days on and a week off, 2 days on and a week off for the whole month. So you can find our parasite tincture if you don't want to wait for the parasite kit. That's totally fine. You can find the parasite cleanse tincture, and you can find the binder on our website, and it's something you can start right away. And it's very, very helpful to helping you to kill off those toxins and those parasites, which we all have them. They're in every animal. Not one animal doesn't have a parasite. Actually, we are full of microbiome. Our microbiome is full of this. It's like this little city of microbes. They're everywhere. They're on our skin surface. They're in our mouth. We have more bacteria in our mouth than all the humans on planet Earth. I mean, we are just, if you really think about it, I mean, our mouths are disgusting. But when you keep your body the way it should, everything is balanced perfectly. It's pretty cool. So it's not something we have to be afraid of. We don't have to be afraid of parasites. When we keep our hydrochloric acid strong, that way when we're eating something, let's say we're eating even leaves out of our fresh organic garden, and there's dirt and there's leaves, and we just decide to, pick a lettuce leaf off the garden and we wipe off the dirt and we eat that, right? Who knows what's on that? But there's a lot of good things in it, right? There could be a few bad things. You just don't know what's in the air or on your lettuce. But if you have strong hydrochloric acid, your body will figure that out. Most times all that dies in the hydrochloric acid that's strong. Most people don't have strong hydrochloric acid. Most people don't have regularity. And so what's happening is when it only takes 12 to 36 hours for an egg to hatch in the gut, and someone's not going to the bathroom, let's say for 3, 4, 5 days. I met a guy once who hadn't gone to the bathroom in 2 weeks. I thought, how are you functioning? How are you functioning? You got to get that under control. Cause he's like, is that normal? I'm like, that is not normal. So you want to make sure your normal daily functions are working spot on. And then you don't have to worry about so much of the parasite overload. Okay, Melissa said gastritis and inflamed esophagus from acid trying to get off Nexium. Yeah, Nexium is no bueno. Nexium actually has been linked to a lot of other diseases. I'm not going to go into that and cause you to have any fear, but definitely believe God to get off of that. So are you drinking with your meals is always the first thing I ask people. Don't drink with your meals. If you're drinking with your meals, are you drinking 64 ounces of water a day? Because your stomach lining that helps make the acid is made out of water. It's mucus. It's sodium bicarbonate. It's baking soda. It's mucosal lining. All that requires water to be making these enzymes to help you strengthen your hydrochloric acid. If not, you may want to consider drinking something called Digest Tea, which helps you to strengthen your hydrochloric acid. Also drinking lemon water. I don't drink lemon water. It bothers me. It's it just doesn't work with my body. But for some people, they can do lemon water. So you could try lemon water. You can try drinking cayenne pepper before a meal to help you. Don't overeat. I would also consider stop eating in evening meals. Only eat a morning and an early meal in the evening, but don't eat anything late in the evening. Basically what's late, I would say anything after 5, don't eat it. Give your stomach rest and a break and time to just relax and renew and empty and then refill, being prepared for tomorrow. And then you get a nice stretch of intermittent fasting, which is so good. Intermittent fasting has been shown to decrease fatty liver disease. It's been shown to help you lose weight very fast. It's been shown to actually cause overall health quickly because the body has time. Instead of digesting food all night long, it has time to rest and it has time to rejuvenate and it has time to work on the areas that are really messy. Have you ever had that messy part of the house and you're like, man, if I just had a solid few hours, I can knock that out. But you can never get it done because there's just so much to do and you're overwhelmed. That's how the body is. The stomach wants a break, guys. You got to give your stomach a break. Can you imagine working 24/7, never getting a break? Oh, I couldn't do that. I couldn't function at all. So you want to make sure you're giving the body a break. There's something called magnesium citrate or magnesium glycinate. You want to take a bioavailable magnesium. I tell people take one and see if it's working for you. If it is, then great. Stick with it. If it's not working as great, try a different magnesium. Make sure it's a bioavailable magnesium, meaning it's your body's readily available to use it. And it's absorbable. So you can look into magnesium citrate or magnesium glycinate. And taking magnesium helps to relax that sphincter that we have it's called the cardiac sphincter. Drinking aloe water can help soothe it. Drinking slippery elm can soothe it. But that gut repair powder as well could help. Or you could try Digest Tea to drink before every meal to help strengthen your hydrochloric acid naturally. It's all about strengthening your hydrochloric acid naturally. Avoid foods that are hurting you. Caffeine, #1 for causing acid reflux. Yeah. I know I'm losing my viewers every moment I say that. Kidding. But I'm telling you, you got to watch out for that. It's very acidic. It's very dehydrating and it leaches your minerals, but also causes havoc in your body. So I would say it's not flattering for aging gracefully. That's for sure. Drinking caffeine is hydrating, so it's not good for the skin whatsoever. So those are some little things I would do, some tips and tricks for that. Okay. I think I have time for a few more. Risa says, I used to get migraine headaches almost every day until I started taking Hawthorne tablets. Now I get maybe 1 headache a month. I didn't realize it was also Good for my heart too. Hey, that's good to know for people who have headaches. Another great natural pain relief is white willow. White willow. I learned a lot about white willow recently from someone, and it's exciting when we learn from other people, isn't it? So great. That's how we pass information, right? We propagate knowledge. Mara says, hi, Jacqueline. What would you recommend to get rid of dark spots on my face? It's very sunny here in Spain. Oh, beautiful, sunny. Hello. Well, I would suggest putting something called sea buckthorn berry oil on your face as a spot treatment. Or you can look into a healthy version of vitamin E. You can put that on your skin in little dots. Castor oil can be helpful on those spots. Avoid the sun on that area until you start to get it naturally done. Also, washing the face with salt. So grab a little bit of salt, use Celtic salt, use a coarse salt, and just massage the area that you have a dark spot with that salt very gently, very gently. Those are some things that can naturally help with age spots that you can look into using. Also, frankincense essential oil. I said golden seal. You can look into aloe. There's all kinds of wonderful things. So I suggest using one thing. Try that first. Also eating pomegranate beets, these fruits and vegetables that have rich natural dye in it, are so healing and helpful and vibrant and help the skin just glow when you eat them. Currently, my favorite fruit is persimmon because we're in the fall. It's a great time to eat persimmons. It's high in lutein, which is fantastic for your eyes, high in fiber, but that beautiful rich orange is so good for the skin. I had them fresh off a tree, and I'll tell you, there's nothing better than giving them as a gift fresh off the tree. I got them in the store, and they weren't as good, but they're still delicious. But when you have it right off the tree, you kind of get spoiled. And then pomegranates we're in this season for pomegranates, so get those pomegranates going. Eat those, they're delicious and they're good for your skin. So lots of dark leafy greens, lots of minerals, lots of wonderful, wholesome, healing things. Okay, Tracy did say her mom did have a strong dose of antibiotics. Yeah. So Tracy, just help your mom rebuild her microbiome, and it takes time over time, but it will happen slowly but surely. It will happen, and really avoid antibiotics as much as possible. Okay. Okay. Robin says, do you sell mullein? How much black walnut tincture do you take for parasites? Yeah, we do sell mullein. I love mullein. Actually grows wild all over Oklahoma. When I'm home and the boys are having a cough, I'll go outside and I just pick the mullein. I gently get the dirt off and I make them their own tea. So look up what mullein looks like. You might be able to discover it in your backyard. I know it's actually dormant right now. It's starting to die it's gone to seed. But maybe there's still some sunny patches, so you might have some mullein still. But look for mullein and make some mullein tea. Yes, we sell mullein in herb form. We sell mullein in a tincture form, and we sell mullein in capsules. So take a look on our website, okbehealthy.com. Just search for mullein, and all of those things will pop up for you. How do you take black walnut? We have a parasite cleanse tincture that you can take. It comes with an instruction card. But depending where you buy the black walnut, it's going to tell you the instructions, because I don't know which black walnut you're using, so I couldn't be able to tell you the usage for it, but you can use black walnut as a parasite cleanse. You can use oregano as a parasite cleanse. You can use clove, oregano. Parasites don't want a lot of things. Even you can take a papaya and eat the seeds whole. And by doing that, swallowing those whole seeds, the parasites are attracted to it and it pulls the parasites out. This was when I saw a tropical tribe using papaya seed as the way to purge their parasites out. It's pretty cool. So depending on where you are, there's all kinds of different things to use. Okay. So let me go to the latest question. Kelly says, can you adopt me? That's adorable. Yeah, come on over. I'll put you to work. Okay. So I think, anybody else have anything else? Carrie says, this is more of a faith question. Do you recommend an easy translation Bible for preteens to understand? Thank you. I love, what is it? NIV, NLT. I have the Blue Letter Bible on my app, and I also have a Bible app on my phone. And you can actually, I tell people is find your favorite verse. For example, Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, lean on to your own understanding, all your ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct your path. So you can go and you can type that in and you can look up all the different translations. And so I would say is go there, find what you like, and you find is good for your kiddos to go from, see what would work with them and their vernacular and their vocabulary. I remember I've always raised mine on KJV. So since they're little, and I remember my little Joel would always say to me, Mom, one day he came to me, he's probably like 7 or 8, I don't know. He's little. He's like, Mom, when we get to heaven, are we going to talk in thine and thuses? Will thine talk in thuses? It was so cute. And I laughed so hard and I thought, how precious are children. And he asked if that's how we should pray to God. It's so beautiful, but, use your vocabulary, how you speak to the Lord, because it's your relationship with God and he'll listen. But yeah, that's a great question, Carrie. That's usually what I've been doing. And you know what I've been doing lately too? It's been on my heart and I prayed for this. I'm like, Father, how can I spend time in the car with my kids better? Because sometimes we'll put on someone speaking and it's just doesn't feel right, or it's AI. And I just feel like it's such a waste of time. By the time I find something we're going to listen to, it's just garbage. And I've wasted our time. And recently he's been telling me to get a devotional. You can get a daily devotional that's by day. You could read a psalm per day or a proverb per day in the car. So what I've been doing, because my teens now can drive, it's a beautiful thing, is while they're driving, I read out of the Bible, or I'll read out of a devotional, or I'll read something like a book, something that the Lord's put on my heart to do. But isn't he good? When you ask, he just gives you these beautiful answers. And let me tell you, we've had such a great time just driving together now, where we're just reading these things and learning together, and just it's a great mindset to set in the day. But God will answer your question. So I think it's a great question. I think there's a lot of great versions out there for people, but find what works for you and your kids' vernacular. Okay, Diana says, thank you, and your mom, love her, and God bless you both. You have wonderful helping so many that are struggling. Oh, sweet. So Barbara O'Neill's not my mom. I know a lot of people think that she's my mom, but she's not. She is, she's a good friend, but she's not my mother. My mom is Tammy, and I do look like Barbara. People say that. So if that's what you're asking, it's actually Barbara O'Neill's not my mom. Okay. I think that's all we got for today. One last one I got 1 minute. What's good for skin tags? So, stop refined sugar. Refined sugar tends to grow moles and skin tags and all these things. So stop the refined sugar. Caffeine tends to make these spots, larger and darker and more inflamed. And so you need to be very, very mindful of what you're drinking. Make sure you drink a lot of water. You can use tea tree essential oil. You can use oregano essential oil. You can use, what's another one? Those are kind of my favorite ones, oregano or tea tree, and you can put that on there. But be mindful of the stimulants you're putting in the body. The stimulants tend to be like Miracle Grow for this stuff, and nobody wants their moles growing. So be careful, be mindful, watch out for that. So that's all the time I have for today for our Right Away Wednesday Q&A. Thank you for being here. You guys are wonderful. Your health matters, so it's important to talk about health. It's important to have some ideas. It's important to look into natural remedies and be aware of things that you can be doing on the daily to change your life, your health, your friends' lives, their health, just with simple suggestions. And hey, have you ever thought about this? So remember, minimize disease, optimize health, propagate knowledge. Make sure you share what you learn. Make sure you practice it, try it. I always find it, anytime the kids do something, whether they hurt themselves or what, they come running, Mom, this is going to make a great post. They're like bleeding all over the place. I'm like, okay, wait, it's not about just posts here, but no, they're so sure that, that aloe poultice or the casserole and prayer is going to be it, right? They're like, Mom, it's going to be a great post. Let's pray. Let's put a poultice on it. We're good to go. We'll video the hydrotherapy. And so, make sure you're encouraging your friends and your family and your community to, live well and think about natural remedies too. Okay. So I will see you Friday. Tomorrow I'll post, another Q&A where people can write what they want to ask me for Friday. Hope that doesn't confuse you. I hope you understand what I'm saying. The Friday lives have taken the place of my sit down Saturdays. So now it's just Friday. Sit down Friday. But you can ask a question on Friday. So that'll be Friday. So I'll post something tomorrow so you can see that. I'll also get my cough syrup posted for you. My cough elixir, which we just finished making. So I'm really excited to put that out. It's great. It's like an all-in-one kind of help for people this time of year. So have a wonderful day, everyone. And I will see you on Friday. And yeah, have a great day. Okay, be healthy. Bye.